special about anybody. I mean, your career goals can be to become a CEO or the world's best doctor or be a good mother or a good father. It doesn't matter. It depends on your situation. So human beings have the capacity to achieve whatever they want. And again, I repeat, whatever they want. And the only way to achieve it is understanding the science behind the power of yoga. You should not be a parrot. Okay, this guy is a big guru, so let me just monkey him and try to be a big guru. No. You got to understand the science. What is happening in your body, how your brain is changing, how you can have one of the most powerful brain in the body, how you can make sure that you'll never ever have heart disease or cancer. So basically, every one of us has that scientist in us. You may not be publishing journal articles, doesn't matter. If you can save one life that's your own, that's more than important, because as you know, 2/3 of the people out here, almost 3 out of 4 of you will die because of heart disease, and rest 1% will die because of cancer in this group. Guaranteed. I can guarantee it now.
Even after listening to Joel?
Even after listening to Joel. The reason is, we have done, as he has shown some of this meta-analysis, lot of these trials or meta-analysis, it's very difficult to put it into physical practice. And you have to do it. I'm not saying you should not do it. You should try to follow Joel bit by bit. But for that, you need something else, and that's where yoga comes in. You need to develop a lifestyle change, and that will only happen when you change your brain. Like what he said, tomorrow you'll stop having that big coffee with a bunch of sugar, white chocolate mocha, because but after 7 days, you'll have the same dopamine kick that he talked about, and you'll be going to the same Starbucks and ordering the same drink. So it's little more than knowing the science. It's the cost of practicing science, and that's where yoga comes. Yoga is a wholesome thing that completely changes your lifestyle from inside. It doesn't matter what Joel said. Some of these people, what they say is absolute science. But there's difference in a science being printed in a Lancet or a circulation journal and the science being used in your own personal life. So yoga is the power that makes you do that. You can change your brain in 4 weeks by something called neuroplasticity, by practicing meditation. You can change the receptors from dopamine to serotonin in 4 to 6 weeks. You can prevent yourself from having heart attack, sudden cardiac death, cancers by practicing meditation, and we can talk about that. So the problem is not the science. I mean, guys like Joel are doing a great job, but you have to understand that these science are of only use. Otherwise, they are going to be in library archives if you don't make those changes in your life, and that's what is the most difficult part of life.
So just to clarify for the audience, and most people when you keep saying yoga, people are thinking, okay, you do these postures and you twist yourself like a pretzel, and are you saying that magical things will happen to my brain if I just am able to be more flexible, or what's the mind component here?
Absolutely. So that's a very, very good question. So unfortunately, the yoga in America has been almost restricted to what is called postures or asanas. Postures or asanas are just 5% of yoga. There are other powerful aspects of yoga. For example, breathing techniques, which is called in Sanskrit pranayama. There are breathing techniques which increase nitric oxide inside your blood vessels. So as you were saying, the chance of stroke decreases, chance of heart disease decreases. If you're diabetic, there's a 14 to 26% chance that you might get your legs chopped off because the blood vessels in your legs gets blocked, and then the leg no more lives. So those can be prevented. So there are breathing techniques that you can know. Our human body has dances between something called sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic causes more inflammation, leading to heart disease, cancer, and all those problems. But you can shift your basic rhythm to a more parasympathetic rhythm. So that's breathing technique. Then you have something called concentration or pratyahara, which means you take your mind off other things and you try to concentrate. Then you have something called dharana, which in my word you might say something like mindfulness. Like you'll find in America as if they've discovered mindfulness all of a sudden. It's a brand new discovery. No, it has been part of yoga for the last 10,000 years. And when you have mindfulness, what you would basically do is you change your brain waves. And as you change your brain waves, you change the neuron of your brain. So today your neuron is saying you, okay, I have to have that large coffee with a bunch of sugar and white chocolate mocha topped with caramel and cream. And that will go on be saying that, as Joel rightly said, it is not a food, it is an addiction. So it's just as same as addiction as alcohol or cocaine. They just sound more bad, but unfortunately this is even worse than those. So these changes can only be brought about if you can change your neuronal system, and that's what these do. And then finally you have meditation, of course, and meditation has many other things. For example, it decreases stress. Stress is the cause of heart disease. 2/3 of you, as I said, 2/3 of 70% of people in every country of the world die for 65 to 70% due to non-communicable disease. 2/3 of them, twice the number die out of heart disease than cancer. And the only way to save it is not having bypasses, not having stents, because today you'll have a stent, tomorrow you'll have another. So the way is to change the source of the stress, and that comes inside the brain.
Okay, so you're saying there's a lot more to yoga than just asanas or posture. It's really sounds like it's more about mind, and you're saying that these chronic diseases like heart disease and cancers have a lot to do with stress and activation of the sympathetic nervous system. And yoga is a science on activating the parasympathetic nervous system to get us into a more relaxed state.
Yeah, that's just part of the truth. So there are three things you get it. Number one, when you do asanas, there's an article in the American Journal of Family Medicine in 2020, which showed that suppose you have high blood pressure, the chance of your high blood pressure lowering is statistically more significant when you do yoga rather than doing Zumba or Pilates. So physical exercise helps. Second thing that yoga does is that it decreases stress. So stress causes release of all the world's most dangerous chemical like interleukin-6. Let me ask you guys a question. Something stopped. Can you guys hear me? How many people do you guys think died out of COVID? COVID virus killed how many people? Millions, yeah. Any other words? No, unfortunately, COVID did not kill a single person. The guys who died is because your body created cytokines, dangerous chemicals, like interleukin-6, interleukin-13, which completely scarred your lungs in 5 days. When you had the initial Delta variant, scarred your lungs in 5 days, damaged your kidneys, had big clots in your brain. Because I was one of those doctors who thought, because being a cardiologist, I got to see only the sickest patient in the ICU for almost a year when we did not have any vaccine, we did not have any drugs. And unfortunately, some of the days it's almost like a horror to me. We didn't even have adequate equipment to go and see these patients. So it's like if you have a mosquito on your neck and you can't reach it, you say, hey, Intranel, can you kill this? So to kill the mosquito, all that I need to give a slap on that place. But if I take an Abraham's tank and start firing, what would happen? That's what the body did when you had COVID, and that's why millions died. Don't forget, the same thing happens at a lower scale when you have stressed out. When you're fighting with your boss or having a problem at your house or your child is not doing good enough, which every one of us does. And the worst is when you're standing bumper to bumper traffic trying to get to work. So all these causes stress. Unfortunately for the brain and the body, they don't understand this. Body does not understand all this. Body understands that you're in danger. And it has to release all this chemical to make your heart go fast, shut off the blood flow to your brain, to your kidneys and all the vital organ, and put blood in your muscles, because the body thinks you're trying to run away from an anaconda chasing you, or a saber-toothed tiger, or a woolly mammoth. But none of those are happening. And why is that? The reason is that's exactly what you did for 6 million years. We are living in a society for maybe 6,000 years. Mohenjo-daro in India is 6,000 or 7,000 years old. Some people say it's 10,000 years old. Before that, we lived in the jungles, and this is the way we lived. So what you live for 6 million years won't change in 10,000 years. Does that make sense to you guys? So that's where yoga comes in. Yoga completely changes the lifestyle. Yoga makes you eat the right diet. Yoga makes you understand the dopamine surge and other things in the brain, which makes you an addict. Doesn't matter addict to what. That addiction will only stop if you can change your brain, and you can do that now that we know in 4 to 6 weeks of practice.
Wow. So you're saying it's more than just a physical exercise. It is physical exercise, but there's other things that are happening in the mind and on a biochemical level in the body as well. Where
Correct.
you're decreasing inflammation, and inflammation is the pathway through which these chronic diseases happen.
That's absolutely true. It's all inflammation, whether it's in your brain, then you call it stroke, whether it's in your gut, or whether it's in your heart, then you call it heart attack. And when you have diabetes, there's inflammation in every organ in the body, in the blood vessels of your leg. That's why people have their legs chopped off, or their eyes go blind. The root cause is inflammation, and the answer to that is completely changing your system so that you live on earth. I mean, if it is Jesus Christ or any saint, earth has got its problem. You are not going to be, earth is never going to be heaven. The question is how you are going to respond to this. That's why Buddha is supposed to have said, maybe somebody else said this, I don't know, that pain is mandatory, but suffering is optional. So if you live on earth, you are going to have these problems, you are going to have these challenges. The question is, should you allow those to wreck you up, or they'll just be another milestone and you'll go over them very easily? That is totally on you, and that's what yoga does. Yoga brings a 360-degree transformation in your entire existence. And staying healthy is just a small part of yoga, actually. There are a lot of other things that comes into play.
Wow. Could we do a small exercise for
Sure.
the audience? Would you guys like that? There's a lot of words, but would you like to experience?
Sure? Okay. Let's sit straight. Can we get our spinal cord straight, please? We'll do a short meditation. So I talked about changing the brain waves. So most of us have fast waves called beta waves. To get into meditation, we need to have slower waves called alpha waves. I don't know if you can see me. I can't see you very well because of the light, but I guess you can see me. Look upwards as if you are looking at your forehead here, and then close your eyes. Your head does not go up. Your head stays straight like that, but you look up and then you close your eyes. Look up and then close your eyes. When you do that, you slowly generate alpha waves or slow waves in your brain. Now take a very slow and deep breath as I'm taking. I'm not sure you're going to hear it. I hope you do. But it's going to be slow but sustained breath. Take a long, slow and sustained breath. This is called the Ujjayi breathing. Take a slow, long, sustained breath. Breathe in slowly. Hold your breath for a second. Feel as if you have taken the breath up to your eyebrows, and then slowly breathe out. Breathe out slowly but powerfully, slow but sustained. Take another long and deep breath. Breathe in slowly but powerfully. And as you take in the breath, just feel the tip of your nostrils. Feel the cold air coming in. Feel that air. Feel the temperature of the air. Feel the smell of the air. Feel the fragrance. Feel the beauty of air coming in, the beauty of nature coming in. And then slowly breathe out. Breathe out slowly at the same speed. Take another long and a deep breath. Breathe in slowly but powerfully. If any part of your body bothers you, feel free to scratch that part, but then take your concentration back to the tip of your nose and slowly breathe in. As you breathe in, take the air up to your forehead and continue to look at your forehead, then slowly breathe out. Breathe out slowly but powerfully. Take another long and a deep breath. Breathe in slowly but powerfully. Every breath you took you take takes you into deeper and deeper meditation. Take a long deep breath. See how I'm taking a breath as if it's slow but sustained and long. That's called the Ujjayi breath. And such breath increases parasympathetic drive, decreases the excitement that you have in the brain, which results in a lot of inflammation and unwanted chemicals like dopamine, giving you a dopamine surge. Then breathe out slowly but powerfully. Again, breathe out slowly but powerfully. Take another long and deep breath. Breathe in slowly but powerfully. Breathe out again slowly but powerfully. Now imagine a small dot at your forehead and just concentrate on the small dot. I'll be keeping quiet. Just try to concentrate on the small dot as if you have a black spot just in between your two eyebrows. Keep your concentration there, try to see that. Any thought comes in, that's fine. Remove the thought and go back to this point. Slowly you can open your eyes. Open your eyes very slowly. Turn your head very slowly left to right, up and down. Raise your hand, stretch yourself. Stretch your two legs, come down. So this is a very small process, and it does a lot of things. So what did we actually do? First of all is we tried to change the balance from sympathetic to parasympathetic. So what does sympathetic do? Sympathetic releases a bunch of chemical that makes you run away from a saber-toothed tiger. So if you're mad with your boss, that should not make you release hormones that will make your heart go fast and you die out of it. And I'm not joking. The largest cause of death in America is what is called sudden cardiac death. You heard a couple of months back, Elvis Presley's daughter just died suddenly. Every 2 minutes, an American dies because of sudden cardiac death. And even before you call 911 or get to your phone, or a helicopter or an ambulance comes to you, you're dead. So a lot of these, we do not know the origin, but a lot of believe that it is excessive stress that makes the heart suddenly go super fast. So practice of meditation prevents that. Second of all, as I said, when you're stressed out, normally we have beta waves in our brain. And this beta waves goes to faster beta waves when you're more stressed out. When you practice meditation, it goes down to slower waves, like delta waves, theta waves. Every one of us have delta waves, but only for those few minutes when you're in stage 4 of REM sleep. That's the only time you have delta waves. But that delta waves cannot help you because you don't have control for that. So that's why it's important to have a good sleep, because if you do not have enough sleep, you're not going to get REM sleep. And if you're not going to get REM sleep, you're not going to get delta waves. And most of the growth hormone is released when you go into REM sleep. Why is that important? That is important because all of us, we all started as a single cell in our mother's womb, and we grew up to be a full human being. Can anybody tell me which part of the day this happened? Anybody? Exactly, this happened only at night. So you grow only at night, because that's the time growth hormone is released. That's the time where body recovers itself. So brain, unfortunately, is not sleeping when you are sleeping. Brain is repairing all the damages that you went through throughout the day. So that's why it's important. So you can change the brain wave. Third is you can decrease inflammation. Breathing like this, there are different breathing techniques called Brahmari breath that increases nitric oxide. These are actual studies by people here. We have a book here that we wrote by almost 79 authors from all over the world, including Harvard, Emory, and they are all allopathic physicians. Quite a few of them are neurologists, cardiologists. Here, every statement that I am saying, we have proof of that. So there's been tons of research in this country on yoga. The unfortunate part is yoga has been reduced to a few physical exercise because some people just want to make money out of you. Yoga is more than a physical exercise. Neither is yoga any religion or any cult or anything. It has nothing to do with it. The core book of yoga, which is called the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, doesn't even talk about God. So it's a manual. Like you buy a Falcon, that is Tesla X or EQ Mercedes, and if you don't read it, the manual, you're going to drive it like a broken Toyota. It still takes you from place A to place B. So it's your choice whether you want to buy a $120,000 car and drive it like a broken Toyota or drive it like what it is so that the Tesla will stop at the red lights, start again. All you have to do is put your hand or the finger in the handle, that's it. So similarly, a human body has to have a manual. So if we as humans could develop a car within 100 years of existence of a car, imagine the power of this machine that has lived for 6 million years, that's you and me. So you have to read the manual also. Once you read the manual, then you know how to drive this machine. Because now you're not driving the machine is driving you. You're basically behaving like a robot. What has been programmed into your brain because of circumstances, because of your environment, that is what is driving you. So you continue to do the same bad thing, you continue to eat the same bad food, you continue to stop doing exercise. I am too busy, I have a problem, I am trying to open up a new company. I mean, excuses are multifarious, doesn't matter. So if you have to change the machine, you have to change the software. If the software is the same bad software, it doesn't matter whatever you do, how much of a science you read, nothing is going to change you. So you got to change the software out here, and that you can do from today by changing yourself, by the practice of yoga, which includes